Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Eddie Smalls, aka Manifest Man here. And I'm live from my place, my humble abode, and you can see the before noon sunshine just hitting my face right now. And anyway, this is number 4 of 63 videos that I'm giving. I'm talking about a midlife crisis, and as I've told people, a midlife crisis changed my life some 30 years ago, an early midlife crisis. And what it did is it did something for me. It just changed my mindset, changed how I thought about life and just my approach. And I'm looking and I'm going, wow, this is some powerful information. I'm going to give it out. And that's what I'm doing. Now, I am 63. And as I told some of you in previous videos, I talked to a numerologist, and the numerologist told me basically 63 is a number of completion. And yes, I am completing a cycle in my life. And this is why all this information is bubbling out of me right now. Also, it means family, and it talks about home and idealism. And I admit to being an idealist. I think the world ought to be perfect. We know that's impossible because of, things that go on in the world, but individually, we all can affect the world. And that's where purpose come in. You're on this planet for a reason. Find out what it is and hop to it. You can add to the situations in the world in a good way, or you can take away from it in a bad way. It's all a choice. And I choose to do some things to make the world better. And I do mean the world, because we all are like stars in the universe. You have a light to shine. There's darkness and then there's a light. And each one of us represents a light. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's so powerful that it just gets people. See, there are 3 things that can trigger or cause a midlife crisis. One of them is money matters, the second one is love and relationships, and the third one is health related. Now, I started out talking about health related because that's what triggered mine, a back problem. So severe, it had me practically crippled. In fact, my whole left leg causing me problems at times, but I'm blessed that I'm walking pretty well. So if you're walking pretty good at 63, as far as I'm concerned, you're doing all right. But today, I'm going to talk about the number one thing that people talk about all the time. The big, powerful emotion that just drives people. Money matters. Money matters can cause a midlife crisis. Now, how's that? Well, just think about a midlife crisis. A midlife crisis, and most people don't even like that title. They don't even like the word crisis, but that's what Dr. Elliot Jacks called it, the guy that came up with the concept. And crisis just means it's something you think, like catastrophic, troubling, powerful. Money matters. When your money is funny, ain't nothing funny. That's an old saying I heard a long time ago. I remember when the OJs had out a song called Money, 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 Money. Had a wonderful beat to it. We just listened to it and jumped around over it, but they talked about money, money, money. Well, all I know is this. Money is emotional. We freak out about money. We want money. We go to jobs to make money. Some people, as the song said, some people rob, some people steal. For a long piece of paper, it carries a lot of weight. For that mean, mean, mean green. Why would money cause a midlife crisis? Well, a midlife crisis has to do with aging and your perception of aging. See, like I tell y'all, I'm 63. Now, I remember 53. I remember 43. I definitely remember 33. The year I was people just told me, Eddie, you look like an old man, because I walked like one. And back then I was on a job working, trying to make money. I've worked more than one job. I've actually had 3 jobs one time. And what I learned was this: wow, you'll chase a dollar. I was working 3 jobs and still was behind on my bills. You know why? You do a lot of things to make money. And I'm going, wow. That midlife crisis that hit me at 33 shook me up and made me rethink everything I ever learned about money. What do you think about money? Think about this now. Money, that paper, we even call it the Benjamins. We freak out about money. I know that because as a child, I heard a lot about money. The neighborhood was talking about money. We're talking about, I go back to elementary school. Believe me, when I was a kid, 6, 7, 8 years old, it was hard to find a penny. Now, some of you can't even think of that. Some of you remember those days. If you had a nickel, you had a lot of money in the 1960s. That's when I was and I'm going back to that far, when a nickel was a lot of money, when a penny laid on top of this thing called, those of you remember a record player, you put the arm of the record player on top of the record and you can hear that sizzling sound. There was a penny sitting on top of that record player's arm to hold it down so it can sit on top of that record and play that song. And in my house, you better not take that penny off there. Now, why would you want that penny? Because you could take that penny and go to the store and get 3 cookies for that 1 penny. 3 cookies. I'm looking today and money is laying around on the ground, on the floor, where I work at, where I walk. Pennies, nickels, dimes. I've been down to pick them up and people look at me like I'm crazy because they look at it as change. I see people leave money on the table in the break room where I work. And you know what they say? That's just change. I look around. Yeah. You drop it in a jar and that change turn into $1. You drop a lot of change there, you have several dollars. But it's a whole generation of change about money. Look at some names here. Anthony Stevenson, Mary Beth, if I can pronounce your last name right, Thacker. Douglas Harley is here, welcome. Clifton Jackson. Oh, Clifton, Anyway, I look forward to hearing this later. I have been missing you talks, but hope they'll catch them later. That's Mary Beth Thacker, yeah. Well, yes, I am talking about money. Money carries so much emotion. It's the number one thing people will pay you money to find out about. Now, how many of you think there's a shortage of money? People keep saying there's not enough money. I want you to know that's not true. I was 8 years old to learn how to make money. Seriously. Now you see this M on my chest? I tell people, you just see this M. You know, it's kind of, probably can't see it that well with anyway, but you can look at it on my website or whatever. But there's an M on my chest, and some people call me a superhero. Well, yes. When I was a kid, I fell in love with comic books. Now, I'm talking about 7 years old, 8 years old, I fell in love with Superman comic books. But back then, I could not get a comic book. I got that comic book out of a trash can. Why? Some poor kid brought it to school and some teacher snatched it from him and threw it in the trash can. Now I'm sitting in the principal's office waiting to be spanked. And I'm just sitting there just miserable. And that comic book calmed me down. When I found that comic book in the trash can, my life changed. Now, what does that have to do with money? I wanted more of those comic books. But back then, comic books were considered trash. Something you threw in the trash can. You don't need that. You need to get some books. You need to get hold to an encyclopedia or something. Get a magazine. get your thinking do book out. So in order for me to get another comic book, I had to, find some kind of way to get it. Now, back then, the only way I knew how to make money was sell soda pop bottles. Now, somebody may be old enough to remember those days. Soda pop bottles. That's right. We had Pepsi-Cola, Knee-High, Coca-Cola, 3 cents a bottle. So here I am scavenging around, skulking around, getting my bottles and hiding them. Why? Because they were worth something. Bullies would fight you for those bottles. I'm 8 years old. I wasn't much of a fighter, but I tell you what, I might have took one of those bottles and bust you in the head just to keep you from taking my bottles. That's how much emotion money is involved with. Those bottles were worth money. Now, as I'm talking about this, some of you probably giggling and laughing. What is he talking about? He's out of his mind. Taking us back then. If you had a nickel, you had a lot of money. Now, a comic book was 12 cents. Now, I don't know if there's anybody young on here, young enough to think about this thing, because comic books today might cost you $1, $2. I've seen them cost as many as $7, $8, $10 for one of these magazines. But back then, a comic book was 12 cents. That was a lot of money for an 8-year-old. I couldn't get 12 cents. Then I found out once if you had 12 cents, you still needed a penny because you had to pay tax. Wait a minute, the government taxing kids? Didn't matter who it was, you had to pay tax. So I had to find 13 cents to buy a comic book. Now, that's how I learned math. Let me see now, 3 cents times what? 3 times 2, 3 times 3, 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, but I needed another one. 3 times 5, I needed 5 bottles. Now, what am I telling you? How do you make money? Find something somebody wants and sell it to them for a price. The price is already set. The bottling companies did not want to have to pay somebody to go out and get those bottles, so they said, we'll pay you. And 3 cents was a lot of money for us back then, because I found 5 bottles and got me a comic book. Then I found 5 more bottles and got me another comic book. Then I found out about a bargain where they had 3 comic books in a pack for 25 cents. Now, 25 cents, that's even harder to find. A quarter? My gosh, how many bottles now I got to do? And I'm adding it up. Now, that's a little kid learning about the power of money. The older I got, the more I understood how money drives us. I mean, Daddy went to work. My father was a single parent from the time I was 7 years old to my adulthood. Daddy was a single parent in the neighborhood. I mean, he and mother broke up. She went her way, and Daddy got the 5 children. That was a landmark decision back then. Men didn't generally get kids, but Daddy had us. He always had to go to work. He had to be there because he had to go there and make money. And he talked about that. Now, he had Sunday off and then Tuesday off. So Sunday, we went to church. And Tuesdays, we did laundry. And we had to go put money in these machines. So I'm looking at it. I'm a kid looking at how powerful money is. There wasn't any such thing as credit cards back then. Some people used checks, but most of you had walked out with cash in your hand. See, money drives everything. That's our perception. But let me explain this to you. Money really doesn't have any power. We give it power. Now, if I had 10 $10 bills, that's $100, and I held them out in front of some people, their eyes would pop. If I had 10 $100 bills, their eyes really would pop. If you had a pack of money, oh goodness, you might get mugged. Why do you think there's so many movies about bank robberies and taking diamonds? That's how much drive we have about money. Isn't that Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, that wrote the song Get Rich or Die Trying? Yes. That's how much emotion is involved in money. Now, what does this have to do with a midlife crisis? Well, I'm going to tell you this. Midlife crisis has to do with aging. The older you get, the more you start thinking about what? Where's your life going? Now, you can start thinking this at 25. You can start thinking like that at 30. It's a matter of you, because you really don't know where your midlife is. You know, think of midlife as what? 40 years old, 45, 50. But see, my mother left this world at 34. So her midlife was like 20, 25, but she didn't know that. You know, I'm 63. A midlife crisis came to me at 33. That's halfway through. I don't know how long God's going to give me on this planet, but I'm in the years where you start thinking about, wow, being blessed, being here. And the longer you live, the more you need money. That's why people talking about retirement accounts. Now, think about this. Now, this is how a crisis come up when you start talking about money matters in a midlife crisis. Let's get a scenario. You are what? Let's say a woman. All right. She's 40 years old. She has a husband, has children. But she has a mama and a daddy, and they get sick. Now, you hoping they got some good insurance, because somebody's got to absorb that extra responsibility. So she talks to her husband and talks about, well, mama just got sick, and now, what's her sickness? Well, anything can happen to you. You can have dementia, Alzheimer's, fall and break your leg, and then take forever to heal. But mamas need to be taken care of. It could be a dad. It could be both parents. And the money matters come up. You're now looking at your finances. You may have to go into your 401k to come up with some money. Mom may have to go in a nursing home. See, I started taking care of our father at 35. See, that added to, and I don't like to say taking care of that it was in midlife crisis and like that, but yes, it did. It became tough. I had to make tough decisions. Because as daddy aged and got sick, sometimes I had to go to the hospital. Sometimes I had to call the emergency room. Sometimes I had to go to his house and see what's going on with him. Eventually, I had to stop all the things I was doing and move in with him, because I couldn't pay my bills and his at the same time. So I had to move in with him. Now, those are decisions I made based on the amount of money I was making. Also, I made an agreement with my father. If he wanted to stay in the house that he was raised in, and I said, well, as long as you can walk around and answer the phone, I'll make sure you can stay in this house. Once you get to become the point where you are like an invalid and need to be taken care of, nursery home. Now, that's the agreement we had. He and I talked about it. He said, okay. Well, I was blessed enough to be able to take care of him all the way to 11 years that he convalesced, and he only had to worry about a nursery home the last 3 months of his life. I thank God every day for that, because it cost me no extra money, because I didn't have any extra money. So God just gave me a blessing. So I'm going to tell you like this. Money is spiritual. It has very little to do with that paper. That paper is a representation of power. But the real power is the spirit that put money into play. That's the power of the universe, the power of God, the power of our creator. You can call it what it wants, whatever you want. That's where money comes from. Before there was ever any dollar bills, how'd you pay for anything? You bartered. You gave somebody something and they gave you something back. You had some corn because you had a cornfield. You said, I give it this amount of corn. You give me some of your cows. That's how they did it. That's really where money came from. It was an exchange. You got a crop coming up, and this is where as soon as your crop get up, you give me this amount of corn, and here you can take these 3 cows now, because the man needed his cow and get some milk and even some beef or whatever to feed his family. Now you owed him that corn. Well, we came up with a system of dollar bills, but it still was the power of exchange. Just like I exchange bottles for pennies to get a comic book. But why is money so emotional? Well, I've been talking about that, and some of you get the grip on this, because we put that kind of emotion into it. It's buying power. And some of you I'm hearing people saying things like, well, we always run out of money. No. You run out of ways of acquiring money because your creativity is gone. I told you, I took care of my dad for 11 years. And I just created ways to make sure the money flowed like it should. I just managed the money. Now, I couldn't work 2 and 3 jobs when I was taking care, because sometimes I had to come home and wash him and change him and whatever they had to do with him. So I couldn't be on 2 and 3 jobs. I managed his finances and my own and work. And I had people that were helping me, and I had to manage them as well. So that's a lot. You become a manager, but money has to do with decisions you're making based on buying power. Now, I'm really talking now about money. You can hear the energy in my voice. Why? Well, I'm talking about money. So I'm going to go directly to you right now. Looking at some names here. Leonard Page, Lynn Jeffries, Lee Holiday, Ulrich Bonenfeld. Oh, yeah, Bones. Yeah, Susan Smith. Yes, I've been talking about money for a while, and I'm rambling because I can give you a whole hour worth of talking about money. But I'm talking about money when it comes to a midlife crisis. The divorce rate in this country is very high. And money can cause divorces. Oh, yes. Look, I knew a guy that betted on the Super Bowl and the ball didn't bounce right and that team lost. He mortgaged the house to get that payment. They had to go into foreclosure. They were on the way to divorce court because his wife was livid. You must be out of your mind. A game? Well, he thought it was a sure thing. It was a sure thing until that ball bounced wrong. You gambled and he lost. Money. There's people with gambling habits. As they call it, shaking the bones and shooting dice, playing cards. Now I'm gonna tell y'all something, people. I'm throwing my storytelling out here right now. I was 17 when some guys begged me to play poker with them. 17 years old. I don't gamble. I don't get involved with stuff like that. Honestly, I don't. But they say, you cannot sit here, Eddie, and watch us play cards. You're going to play. Now, we were at McDonald's. We had just got paid. Everybody had a paycheck. I'm not sitting down there and don't pass no money around. No. You're not going to sit there and watch us. You're going to play. And they told me the rules, how to, configure the cards, ace and high and low, whatever, and, straights. Because I didn't understand poker. I just saw cards. Saw them on cowboy pictures and all that. That's all right. They talked that to me. They explained it to me. I sat down there and we passed out money. You had to bet whether or not you got a better hand. So I said, okay, all I got is these red cards. I turned them around. They go, oh man. So I won the pot. I said, wow, I won? Yeah. Now, that's how I'm talking. Okay, I got all these in a row. What does that mean? Gosh, you just won again. Now, that's how I was talking. Now, I knew what 4 of a kind was. I had four Ks, 4 kings. I said, okay, here I got 4 kings. Man, how you winning like this? I thought you said you know how to play. Well, no, I'm just, I'm just going where the cards fall. Where the cards kept falling. And I kept winning. And money kept coming out. I felt the energy. Wow, that's how come people get hooked on gambling. Well, they changed the game to another game. They had a game where you had two cards laying down, and it was a card in the middle, and you had to bet whether or not that card in the middle was in between those two cards. They called it in between. I won every hand except one, and it was $20 a hand. Every hand except one. I took everybody sitting at that table paycheck that day, including the McDonald's manager. He was the one that got the $20 bill. But other than that, in fact, two guys owed me $15 after it was over with. Now we're talking about, when I was 17, that was a lot of money. And you know what I did with that money? I bought clothes, shoes. We were talking about what, the 70s. And I'm gonna tell you straight up, I wouldn't got me one of those fancy pimp daddy outfits. Oh, I sure did. The power of money. And I was walking around, I had 3 pairs of them stacked shoes. I had a big old hat with a feather in it. I had my flare leg jeans, flare leg double knit pants and a long fur coat because it was wintertime. Winter had just come in. And I went out there and I lost my mind. I didn't think about saving or nothing. I went and spent money. That's the power of money. Now, did I get the incentive to gamble? No. I promise you, I have not played a game of no. That's just, it's a personal principle of mine. I'm not going to do that. Now, I don't even play the lottery, but I'm thinking about it because that's not really criminal or anything like that. So I'm thinking about, hey, because it's a way you can make some money. So I play too. But I got some friends that religiously go after the lottery. We got it here in South Carolina, but it used to be you had to go all the way to either Georgia or I think Virginia. They get in a van. They take off. You come in there? I said, no. They take off and drive to wherever the lottery place is across the board and come back. That's the power of money. Now, Norma T. Hollis, I know you not here, keeping up the great message. People, I want to tell y'all about Norma. And this is about money again, because Norma, I think she still lives in California. I saw her message on the front of Black Enterprise magazine. She was talking about branding. This was 20 years ago. I was like 42, 20 years ago. And this lady really was part of my journey, a big part of my journey, because I had this big shakeup at 33, and here I am, about 9 years later, I'm still seeking what does this mean, and I meet this lady. I actually paid plane ticket and flew to California and got in on one of her retreats. Well, she had one in Memphis, Tennessee. And I got up and told not in Memphis. I didn't get up and tell my story in Memphis. I was afraid to do it. And she told me, Eddie, you're going to need to get this off your chest. You got to dump this baggage. I had a lot of baggage from my childhood left in my head. And this lady helped me. And I'm saying this, I'm giving her this plug because it's real. And it was about money. Because my money was funny because I had funny mess in my head about life. And it was blocking my money. So it's just fitting that she's there and I'm talking about her, Norma T. Hollis. I still remember going to California. I said, okay, I didn't speak in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to go to California. I flew to California and I get there and we're in a hotel room. I'm looking around because in Memphis, it was about 20 people. And I know she remember this. If she don't, she's going to recall this. And it was, me, another man, and everybody else is female. And what I had to say was, I knew it was going to make me break down emotionally. So I was afraid to get up and talk. She said, Eddie, why didn't you talk? I said, well, I just didn't. She said, Eddie, you're going to have to get past this. I'm telling you, you have to get up and tell your story. So I fly to California with my intent. Okay, God help me. I get to this hotel room. I see her name up on one of these marquees. She's got room this. So I go down and I say, okay. I walk in this room. I'm looking around. Why is there so many chairs in here? She said, oh, well, this is my international group. What? no, I'm not headed. Come on now. No. Fear engulfed me, people. No, I'm not getting up there in front of all those people. Eddie, if you don't do something about this, this will carry your own life and it just keeps stopping you. Now you got to face this fear. Now, what fear am I talking about? I don't even know I want to say it, but anyway, I got up in front of these people and she said, I go up there with you. And she got up there and walked me up there. And I already saw felt the tears coming out of my eyes. And she announced to me, and I mean that room, people, we're talking about 250, maybe 300 people in that room. I'm telling you. And I'm going, oh my goodness. I was petrified because I was about to talk about my mother in ways that I didn't want to talk about her. But, you know. Oh, I'm still here. See, I'm African American. You can't talk about your mother, especially in a negative way. And I did not want to say these things, but it was just the truth. And I had to get it off my chest because it bothered me. And I just said, well, I'm sorry my mother had a tragic life and it affected me. I'm paraphrasing it because I said a lot more than that. I don't even remember what I said. I know I broke down in tears. And Norma stood there, you know, she started rubbing my back up and down the spine, and it tickled. And it tickled so much I started laughing because I was crying. I can't tell you how long it was. And I was telling my story of pain about my relationship with my mother. I'm 42 years old. That emotion poured out of me, and that was one of the best experiences of my life because that was some big baggage I was dropping. It was also getting in the way of me making decent money in life, honestly. And I'm not going to get into all that. That's a whole lot of story to tell there. But there's something that's stopping you from making the money you want to make. And if you are making the type of money you want to make, I'm telling you, there's endless amounts of money to be made. I know this because I have enough friends making it. But when I found out what was blocking mine, I started systematically getting rid of it because that's what it is. There's no shortage of money in the world. No. Remember when I talked about, I opened up, we were talking about pennies, nickels, and dimes, quarters. Back then, $500 was a lot of money. Well, $500 still a lot of money now, but the standard is 5,000, 50,000, 500,000, $500,000, billions. That's the standard now. Millionaires used to be a big thing. Or some people call them thousandaires, which is no such thing. You know, people are making thousands. If you may have had $100,000 a year job, you was considered rich one time. Now people saying, well, you're making a little bit of money. Well, that would be a lot of money to me. But some people say, I got some friends who think, hey, gosh, I make that in a month. What? Can you imagine that? Well, if you can imagine that, you can do it. The problem is many of us can't imagine that because we have a blockage here. Now, where it came from, but it's blocking your money. That's the only reason. Now, you may think millionaires are all crooks. That's a blockage. You may think the only people that should be rich is actors and musicians and preachers. That's a blockage. You're blocking your money because of your poor thinking about money. I mean, remember when I said I flew to California and I had to pay for that plane ticket and I didn't have the money? I manifested that money. When you have a big enough why, you will find money. And I'm not talking about criminal ways. You will get money if you need to have it. Money, there is no shortage of it. Once you start understanding how to correctly think about money, your whole life changes. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Now, I'm looking how much time I don't have. Okay, I've been on here about 30 minutes. As you can see how much energy is talked about money. I'm finna throw somebody that's gonna really shake them up. Chuck Arnold is here. Margaret Dunlap is here. Lisa, oh, that's Lisa Weston. All right, how y'all doing? Yes, I am talking about a midlife crisis, and it has to do with money matters. Some people get her upset. Well, gosh, I'm 50 years old. You know, all my money making power is gone. No, that's a blockage. I mean, Colonel Sanders started, I think, what, 63, 65, and took frying chicken and became a multimillionaire. That's when he made his best money. Because all the years before that, he was looking around trying the wrong ways, but you just try. I mean, I failed at making money many times, but I do know this. You can make it. I've had no job whatsoever and was making money. I'm talking about no job to go to. And I don't mean no few months. I mean years. I was unemployed 2 years straight one time. I didn't start one time. I mean, there's a passage in the Bible where you see, you know, I think it says something like God takes care of the birds and on all the creatures on the land. So why won't he take care of you? Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but yes. And I took that serious. Because all money is a representation of buying power. When you want something, you can get it. I've had people pay me just to come and speak. Now that freaked me out. Whoa, you want me to come? Yeah. And they gave me an amount. I say, wow. Now that's something Norma Hollis talked about, because you know she's they call her the authenticity doctor. I'm throwing a plug out there for her again because I'm so glad that she got on here. And she just helped prompt me into talking about these things. But see, people, if you want your money to grow, you have to grow. Now, I can't say anything more powerful than that. Now, it was Albert Einstein that said, what you focus on expands. So if you think broke, that's what you're going to expand. You're going to have more brokenness. I'm telling you, when I started understanding the power of money spiritually, that paper has no power, but the whole concept of money is what the power is, because it comes from the power of the universe. I changed everything I started doing. Like I told people, I got rid of my car. A car drains your wallet. Now, I'm not telling you not to have a car. Some of you got kids you got to take to school. You got to drive to get to work, whatever. I don't have those situations. My son is 43. He makes good money where he is now. I'm proud of him. He's in Georgia. He got a house and everything. My son has learned how to make money. He has skill sets that they pay him good money for, and I'm proud of him. My grandson is in the military. You know, the military is paying him. You get money according to your worth. And your worth is according to how you think. There's another passage I'm thinking about. A person's gifts make it room for them and bring them before great people. That's a proverb. What gifts you have? I told you somebody paid me to speak. You got a nice voice, speak. I don't know if you can sing, get on the voice and sing and get out there and use your voice. Sing at weddings or whatever. Supplement your income. Do voiceovers. But writing you right now is the power to manifest a lot of money. There's a late great gentleman named Stuart Wilde. You can look him up. He was a spiritualist. Now, he has a video, and I wish I could give you the name of it, but I know, but you look his name up. Stuart Wilde did a video that was so powerful, Oprah endorsed it. And he basically said this: raise your vibrations, your human vibration, based on what talents and gifts you have, and apply it to a service. Raise your vibrations. Now, how do you raise your vibration? Yesterday I talked about negative and positive self-talk. If you're talking negative, you're lowering your vibration. Talk positive. Now, people go, wait a minute, now not that stuff again. It's the truth. You can feel my positive energy right now, and positive energy attracts positive energy. That's science. Einstein said that. That is science. You apply that kind of energy to marketing some product, some idea, some enterprise, and money will just come. Ask Oprah. I was a real Oprah fan, but before Oprah, there was a guy named Phil Donahue. They were on TV talking about life and giving service to the community through a television. And that's why those shows made a lot of money. It generated money. Phil Donahue got taken out by Oprah, and I still remember her show, 1982. She talked about something so controversial that they thought they was going to kick Oprah off TV. The people wanted to hear about it. The lights in the engineering room started blinking because the fans say, we want to hear more shows like that. Instead of them firing Oprah, they gave her a raise because she delivered what they wanted, and she was well on her way to being a billionaire. Now, I'm talking big number of money. Now, I know right now, but you can apply this to $10,000. You can apply it to $20,000. You can apply it to just $500. You can say, I want me enough money to buy a laptop. And you say it in the right frame of mind, it will show up. Now, that's just the truth. I'm talking to y'all through a laptop that just showed up to me. I didn't pay for this laptop I got. The money came. Because I'm just telling y'all this. I got a phone right here. The money came because what I learned. Now, it seems like magic, but it's not magic. It's how the universe works. Now, I'm gonna take this down and slow it down, and because I could talk a whole lot about money. And I'm seeing we got all these people popping in. I'm thanking you for being here, but I can talk. And I'm not going to just take forever up here, but I'm fired up because I like the idea that somebody here just care about what I have to say. I appreciate that. In fact, I'm thinking, wow, why wasn't I saying all this 10, 20, and 30 years ago? Well, I was saying it somewhere. I just never thought this technology would come up so we can do it like this. I ain't got to go anywhere. I used to go in speaking halls and speak in front of churches and things like that, in front of groups. But now, heck, you can just sit in your living room and talk to people. So what I want to leave with you is this. Ask yourself, what's your money situation? What's your age? How do you think about money? What kind of situation were you raised in around money? Were you raised around lack of money? Anybody arguing about money? When money caused problems? When people had to fight and scuffle for every dollar they had? Or were you in a situation where money just came and they seemed like it just showed up so much and you just say, wow, you always had money? See, that's two different scenarios. And thinking like that is how your money flows too. If you having money situations, money problems, first place you want to look is in your thoughts. How do you think about money? Hard-earned money. See, that's hard to even say. There are some people say money comes and flows, and those people have a lot of it. I know, because they'll tell me these things that I'm telling you right now. Eddie, you remove those blocks and your money will flow better. And that's what I worked on, because I found I had layers of crap. Because I heard a lot of tough money stories as a child. Man, my dad was a sharecropper. And I mean, sharecropper was next door to slavery. I don't even tell you that. And I don't even tell people about what happened on my mother's side of the family, because that really was tough. But now I understand the negative spirit of money that I was raised around, because there were some tough things that happened around money. But as I went and learned, I learned this. You can change whatever thought you have, no matter what they are, how dark they are. It's a matter of, what do you want? That's all our Creator is asking of us. What do you want? And when it comes to money, he said, well, don't be shy. I want my money situation to get better. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen. Because people, the midlife crisis happen, and it can happen. Things can happen in your family. You can be on a job that's so daggum boring that you're going crazy, but you still got to raise your family, but you want to change. But you can do that. Some people stay on a job where I got all these benefits. You're stressed out and on pills on a job that's making you sick to your stomach and hurting your mind and tearing your body up. And your doctor has you taking what? Nitroglycerin tablets. Now, I've known people like this. And your body is telling you you need to change jobs, but I'm 50. There are a lot of people that change jobs at 50, especially for health reasons. And sometimes it's for the better. You have to trust this power that gave us all this in the first place. It's called reinvention. And it can happen off a decision. I mean, I reinvented myself. How y'all think Manifest Man came about? I had no idea to find a comic book in a trash can in 1963, 64 was going to change my life, but it did. I was just happy to find that comic book. Happy to learn something about money, how to get that comic book. But I'm looking back now, wow, I learned some powerful things. I just was too young to understand what I learned, and there were not enough people around me to guide me because they were talking about money in tough ways as well. Everybody was talking about the struggles of money. I'm going, wow. But I'm telling you today, your money matters can better themselves when you better yourself. First, start thinking that I can do better with my finances. I will do better. I will learn what I need to learn. I will do what I need to do. And one of the first things you want to do is get rid of the blocks up here that's blocking your money. There's somebody around you right now who want to tell you about an investment. You you're too negative. And those guys I told you about when I was 17, they looked at me and they were honest guys because they were crooks. I've been in trouble. They were just took me. We were just teenagers, and one manager, he was like 21. We were like 17, all of us. But those guys, even the ones that owed me, one of them took 2 years, but he paid me that $20 he owed me. One of them owed me $15. He went in his house, went in his piggy bank and pulled out $15. He had to tell his parents, I lost the money. And I thanked them. I said, okay, because we were honest people. And I honestly, just out of innocence, made a lot of money. And I didn't know what I had learned back then, but I was learning the ease and flow of money. Find something people want who will pay you cash for it and sell it. That's what Stuart Wild said. Whether it's a service, write a book, come up with a concept, make a better mousetrap, whatever it is. But the next time you decide you want to make some money on the side, take it seriously. And look around and see who's doing it. Because believe me, people, the people that I'm thinking about right now, you'd be so shocked to know what people are doing legitimately to make money. And I learned all these things I'm talking about because I had a midlife crisis at 33. A back problem that hit me so hard I had to rethink everything I did. And what I did was started going in a different direction. Naturopathic medicine. I don't like pills. I don't like all these things you tell you to take. No. Your body is designed to heal itself, including your mind, your body, and your soul. You learn to work with it, you'll be surprised what you're learning. Out of that, I learned about the power of money. So I started saying, wow, I'm going to use these things and talk about it. So y'all, all of you that stayed, all of you that came, all of you that have encouraged me to do these things, well, this is video number 4. And I didn't intend to run this long, but I did do it because money matters do that. And I'm probably going to have to do a money matter part 2. But money is powerful. And when it comes to midlife crisis, it's even more powerful because you're talking about time. Because that's what a midlife crisis is. You start thinking about time running out. If you haven't made your money now, well, I got to make my money, I got to make my money, I got to make money. Well, that's putting the urgency in your voice. You really got to calm down about it and go where the real power is. That's the spirit of the universe, and find a way to calmly make your life the way you want it. Money matters do matter, but you matter more than money. When you get you right, your money will get right. So take care of you, and the rest will take care of itself. That's about as simple as I can put it. Y'all, I thank y'all for being here. All your wonderful names. I'm looking up here, all kinds of people showed up, and it's just, yeah, this technology is something else. Susan Smith. Oh, wow. Douglas Harley. Y'all have a great day. I see y'all in my next video. I have, what's that? That's 59 more to go. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Eddie Smalls, a.k.a. Manifest Man. Enjoy the rest of your day.